nothing.
Right, and so maybe the size of a business card and 1/8 of an inch thick.
That might be right.
Nothing about analysis?
No, because she didn't ever see that. She probably wasn't supposed to see this at all, and he probably wasn't supposed to have it, and if he was supposed to have it, he wasn't supposed to be using it to impress the office staff. Her paperwork, her documents showed that she was steadily promoted, and I believe that she was used as kind of a general purpose office manager / tech secretary clerk. She told me about logging top secret material in and out of safes. That was part of her duties routinely. She also told me along the way she was required to type up standard response letters to people who reported UFOs. Now, she didn't say directly that she worked for Project Blue Book. My understanding was that she was tasked to write some of these letters, and that the context was that these were just dismissive letters, that the particular type of air vehicle that you have described is not possible given standard aerodynamic principles, etc. It was sort of just to get rid of the person type letter, and that she had helped write those letters.
And that reinforced her perspective of Project Blue Book as being really a misinformation project as far as the public was concerned, while behind the scenes, real scientists, real engineers, and real military people were doing serious investigations that never reached the public.
Exactly. That's the number one bottom line for what I learned from Jim Crane, that what the public is told and what these scientists and engineers discussed behind closed and very secure doors were two entirely different things.
And that she even had to take the typewriter ribbon out of her typewriter and put it in a safe every night?
Absolutely. In fact, she told me one time she got in trouble because she left one piece of paper in a drawer in her desk. She told me that they took security. They were extremely serious about it. And in fact, she described on one occasion that there was another person she worked with that she was suspicious of, and she described in detail how that person eventually got picked up by the FBI, and she never saw that woman again, and they actually took her desk away.
What is your perspective on why the overwhelming policy of denial in the interest of national security in its requirement for everyone involved to lie?
I think it starts back with one word, fear. And I think they were afraid of what they had found and what the implications might be, because bearing in mind that their fundamental job is to maintain the security of the skies over the United States and the interests of the United States anywhere in the world, and suddenly now we are confronted with something that is completely out of our control, and presumably if they have the kind of technology to come here wherever they come from, any sort of weaponry that they might possess would almost certainly be overwhelming. So they're afraid of what they found. They're also afraid of how the public might react, given our religious, social, and political institutions that are dependent upon everybody thinking that everything is predictable and okay. There's fear throughout this whole subject, and I believe that that's what dictated their response. They keep dealing with it from a mentality of fear. I can't imagine that they're hostile. I mean, if they were going to be hostile, I don't know why we wouldn't already know it. The only thing I could presume is that someone knows something that's so terrible that they are just scared to death that it will ever get out.
And Whitley, another very interesting piece that June Crane told James was that one day at Wright Field, this would have been probably around the 1949, 50, 51 period, that she was asked to go and take dictation from a man who, quote, had the coldest eyes I have ever seen, close quote. And his name was Dr. Werner von Braun. And for 3 hours, she took dictation because she was the fastest secretary with dictation. And the entire subject was a background trying to get $600,000 in what was called seed allotment money for a new American space program. And she told James that if she had not married and she had stayed at Wright Field, she was pretty confident that she would have gone on to work for what became NASA and the work of Wernher von Braun.
What a story, Linda. You know, Linda, as you were telling this, and as I was listening to the report, I was thinking of the fact that my uncle was at Wright Field and worked also on that debris, and it's a real shame that both of them are dead. I would love to have known if they knew each other.
Yes.
If my uncle might not have been the man who showed her that debris, because he was certainly against the secrecy all of his life, although he kept it religiously. He did keep it.
And Whitley, isn't it fascinating that now at the end of 2009, 60-some years later, that we are for the first time hearing about breakthroughs in laboratories of what is called memory metal that will return to its original shape?
Well, I was told that this was metal that was affected, that had been welded at the molecular level, and that it wasn't even until we developed the electron microscope that we began to be able to see how it was actually made. And that it was still, even when I was told this 20 years ago, far beyond what we could do. But maybe not so far now.